Hey guys, and welcome to another Gravey's Brew Review with me, Gareth Goes Gravey. And guys, for this video I'm gonna answer an age-old question that used to be asked a lot here on YouTube, especially back in the early days, back in the mid to late noughties when YouTube first started. That being the question of suitable YouTube cameras. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk about this subject again, what about this time last week, somebody in a Facebook group that I'm a part of asked the question about suitable cameras for when they are doing videos on brewing up beers. So in the course of that conversation I volunteered to make a video about just a couple of the cameras that I've used on YouTube, one or two that I have actually also used whilst brewing beers, so I'll be able to show you exactly which ones they were. But before I start, another question that was asked, or a part two of the same question that was asked, was about the use of mobile phones to make such videos, and I'm gonna say here what I actually said in that conversation. This particular phone is a iPhone 6s, the 64 gig version, I believe it is. It is a contract one. I got it just near enough 2 years ago on a contract. That contract again is kind of coming up, so I will be trading it in when the time comes. So anyway, losing my train of thought. This particular camera of, well, my phone, I have used with the camera to make not so much beer brewing videos, but a couple of my beer reviews. I want to bob a link to at least one of the videos if I can find them, actually, because it is quite a while since I used my phone to do such a video, just to let you see the quality of the camera on that video. But again, yes, you can use your phone, but as I was going to allude to with the memory, and that was the point, again, the hard drive on this is 64 gig. I have probably got around about 12 gig left, thanks to all the music, apps, photos, videos that are on this phone. So my one word of advice for those of you that want to use your phones, make sure that you've got plenty of space on your hard drive, memory card, etc, etc, to make such a video. I will admit there is about 12 gig left on that phone, of space I should say, so that'll give me around about 4 hours of, maybe 5 hours actually, of video making, so that I can do videos on there. But that's that. That is your choice. If that is what you've got, then I won't begrudge you. Your phone is a perfect way to start, cheapest way to start without actually having to purchase, actually having to go out and spend any money, especially if you don't have any, or if you're not rolling in, let's just say. Anyway, onto the cameras. If you're just looking for a point and shoot camera, you don't want to bother with any audio or video settings, picture quality settings and the like. Just get yourself a small point and shoot camera. I don't think you need me to tell you exactly what this is. In fact, you could probably see it on the corner of the unit there. It's the old flip Mino, one of two I actually have of these. And I have actually used these a couple of times in recent videos. Can't think off the top of my head what videos I've actually done them for or used it for on my channel. If I can find a video again, I'll link you to it so you can see the quality. Obviously, with flip Minos not being used, or excuse me, not even being created anymore, if you're wanting to get a camera similar to or exactly like this one, I would say eBay or Amazon are your best choices. Even with the software not being developed anymore, I have used the flip in the past, and my current editing software is still a very good editor for the videos. I don't have to I don't have to change the format. My video editor will readily accept the videos that come off this camera, and I can still use this as a replacement. Again, as I said, I do. This, I will also admit, probably is a lot cheaper than when I first bought this. This is probably one of my oldest cameras. I bought this probably about 10 years ago now, and I think back then it cost me about £90. So I think you'd probably get one now for probably a good, third off of that, maybe 20-30 quid if that, again, off Amazon or eBay. So if that's the kind of camera that you want, go ahead, get yourself one of these. It is actually a very decent camera if you're just wanting to put it over your kettle or your kettle, your mash tun and the like, just so that you could let your audience see what you're doing. It's the perfect camera for it. And again, fairly cheap at, well, I'd say probably around about 20 quid if that today. But I think for a lot of folks, getting on to the next style of camera, I think a lot of folks would still suggest that if you have a digital camera that shoots video, go ahead and use one of these. Again, it is a perfect type of camera for if you're just wanting to shoot some brew footage from inside of your mash tun or your boil kettle. Go ahead and use your digital camera. This one is a Casio Exilim ZS5. I'll pop a link to some information down there in the description. I will say that this camera, I don't know if this camera is still being developed, no pun intended. I don't know if this camera is still being made or if they've moved on to another model of the Casio Exilim. The one downside to this camera, I must admit before I get on, is that, well, let me show you this first. The one good thing about this camera is that it is YouTube ready. Basically meaning that the settings for the white balance, the audio, is already set in that YouTube mode. Again, I've used it and it is a very good piece of kit. The only downside is the time limit on these cameras. For those of you that have been here on YouTube for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you that are relatively new, there was a time where YouTube did limit the amount of time that you had to make a video, or the time length, and as a matter of fact, as a example, I've actually just gone over one of the older time limits here on YouTube for 10 minutes, for which again, I guess due to bandwidth back in the day, was all that YouTube would allow. And as such, this camera is very much the same. The regular video mode, I think you have about videos of about 15 minutes. The YouTube mode is 10 minutes, or vice versa. I can't remember which is which. I know that those are the two time limits on the videos for this camera. But that isn't to say that that's all you get. This camera, I have a 16 gig camera in it, which gives me about 3 or 4 hours worth of video. So after so long, if I'm doing a video such as a brew day, if I do clips of say 2 or 3 minutes at a time, it will give me the full time limit. Once I start the camera again, it won't give me the, like say, a 10-minute time limit. I stop it and it starts at the remaining amount of time. It gives me the full amount of time for another clip. But again, a very good camera. And for this one, I think once again I purchased this for around about £90 to £100. I think I actually also bought this with some accessories. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head what I actually got with this camera, but again, it was fairly cheap at the time. £90, £100, can't exactly remember. Today you probably can get one off of eBay and Amazon, again probably about 20, 30, 40 quid for a used one. Brand new Casio Exilim, you're probably once again looking at maybe around about £100, which again, for a small camera like that, isn't too bad. I must admit as well, the flip, again, if you want to go for an old camera like this, this was the old 4 gig model, which I think gives you about 2 hours worth of video. I also have the I have a more up-to-date 8 gig flip, which I think gives you about 4 hours. So those are good cameras as well. The camera that I'm actually using as well, I will briefly talk about it, is a JVC Everio. I can't exactly remember the model at the moment. Unfortunately, the model isn't available. The model of this camera that I'm using isn't available anymore. It's not being made. So if you wish to purchase a full camcorder like this, it is, you know, you could probably find it through your local electronic stores. This one, again, I purchased this for around about £150 with a couple of accessories, which was a good deal at the time. I've had this camera for about maybe 10 years, give or take, and it's served me fairly well, so I can't complain. Can't complain. Hey guys, well, I apologise if this video was all over the place. I did try and prepare as well as I could. I kind of wanted to show, you know, talk about some of the cameras. A lot of the specifics I wasn't really up to date on. But again, what I'll do, down in the description, I'll pop some links to the types of cameras that I spoke about. Again, if you want to try and find these specific ones, go right ahead. If you want to try and find more up-to-date versions of, again, the camcorder that I'm using, or the digital camera that I showed you, you know, you can do. That's up to you. But I just wanted to kind of come up here and just show some of the cameras that I've used over the years. and I hope that you found this video a little bit informational, if not all over the place, and for that I do apologise. Let me know down there in the description what you thought of this video, if you found it interesting, if you found some of the cameras interesting to hear about, and to get some discussion going. If you want to talk about some of the cameras that you use, or some of the ideas that you can use for, or you have used for the types of videos that or cameras that you use to make videos, drop them down there. We'll get some discussion going. Alright guys, well that's all I've got for you for this evening. So until next time, from Gravey's Brew Reviews, this has been Gareth Gaz Gravey. I'll see you later. Cheers.